Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
From Rose Hill Gymnasium on the campus of Fordham University, the Varsity Media Sports Network presents the third of 4 CHSAA AA quarterfinal showdowns. This matchup features the Gales of Iona Prep, the New York number 3 seed, come in with a 17-10 record against the 18-3 Terriers of St. Francis Prep, the number 2 seed out of Brooklyn, Queens. Today's game is sponsored by Maspeth Federal Savings, as well as Leeds Brown Law, protecting workers' rights on and off the job. And last but not least, the fine folks at Orland & Cohen Orthopedic Group. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I think it's still afternoon, right? Dylan Butler here in the Bronx on the call, picking up where John Perez left off. We have 2 semifinalists already in the books. Christ the King and Archbishop Stepanak have made their way there. There you see the live bracket. And Stepanak and Christ the King making their way to Carnesecca Arena. Who will join them? Well, the first ticket to be punched in that top portion of the bracket will be decided in the next couple of hours here between Iona Prep and St. Francis Prep. For Iona Prep, the Gales, they come into this game off of a 55-51 win over Holy Cross. In the previous round, A.J. Rodriguez had 24 points and 7 rebounds. Alex Bryant had a double-double with 13 points and 11 boards. And Lucas Murillo had 7 points and 2 rebounds for Iona Prep. Again, the team that finished 3, but think about what Iona Prep has done this year and the quality of wins they have. They defeated Stepanak, which, by the way, opened the door for Cardinal Hayes to earn the number 1 seed in the New York Archdiocesan. And they also beat these Terriers as well. So when you think of the top 4 in the Catholic League this year, and all year it's been Christ the King, Stepanak, Cardinal Hayes, and St. Francis Prep. Well, they've got wins over a couple of those teams already this year. So the Gales, they don't have a large roster, but they do get the most of it. We'll take a look at their players to watch now. And for Iona Prep, it's all about Blaze New and A.J. Rodriguez. New, the point guard. He's a UMass lacrosse commit, 11.7 points per game. Usually about 5 assists a game. He is the engine, the go-to guy, the leader with energy, toughness, unselfishness as well. A really good playmaker for the Gales. And A.J. Rodriguez, he has those arms spread out. He's got that long wingspan, 18.7 points per game. You see there, first team All-League. New was a third team All-League player. The 6'5" senior, 18.7 points, about 8 rebounds a game. He has taken, his head coach Steve Alvarado says, a quantum leap this year, becoming an elite player in an elite league. A.J. Rodriguez. So those are 2 guys certainly to look out for Iona Prep. For St. Francis Prep, we've not seen the Terriers since that epic Brooklyn Queens championship game. A difficult defeat for St. Francis Prep. A 1-point loss at Christ the King. They had the ball in the hands of the player of the year, the MVP of the CHSAA, Josh Pasquarelli. But then Pasquarelli was stripped on his way to the basket, and that ended it. Christ the King were victorious, the Royals, and earned the number 1 seed. And these Terriers, they suffered just their 8th loss of the year. It was a tough one for them, but they'll look to regroup today, and they've been, as advertised throughout the year, a team that was in the semifinals a year ago, and they were led last year by these two, and especially this year by Josh Pasquarelli. On your left, the 6'4" senior guard bound for Marist. He is the AA MVP this year. And to your right, you will not find a tougher floor general in the Catholic League this year than Veer Anthony, the sophomore, 8.6 points per game. He's got offers from Manhattan and Robert Morris, and I can tell you from walking into this gymnasium today, there are plenty of college coaches in the house. So Veer Anthony has an opportunity, no doubt, to impress a few of those. But there you see Pasquarelli, a guy who has elevated his game this year, just a shade under 20 points a game. He goes for 22 today. He's at 20 points a game, and he'll likely have his team into the semifinals. The winner of this game, as you saw in the bracket, will take on the winner of our next game between Cardinal Hayes and St. Peter's. And there you see again the bracket. 3 of the 4 teams on this top portion of the bracket from the New York Archdiocese. And we mentioned before, Iona Prep, in the loan meeting during the year, they beat St. Francis Prep. You go back to February 7th at Iona Prep, a 73-64 win. And there you see it for Iona Prep. Johnny Keenan, a big game for the Gales. 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Rodriguez, a couple of rebounds shy of a double-double. 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Pasquarelli in defeat had a good day for the Terriers. 22 points and 4 assists. Then Veer Anthony, 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists in that loss. We'll take a look at the keys to victory. We spoke to both coaches leading up to this game. We asked them what their team needs to do to be victorious and earn a spot into the semifinals. For St. Francis Prep, Jimmy Lynch, their head coach, said we need to compete on the glass and around the rim as well. And shot selection is important. You take the shots that you want, he said, or that we want, as opposed to what they want to force us into. And the third key for St. Francis Prep, play like it means something to you. This is a big stage for the Terriers. If they want to continue on in the season, move on to St. John's, just outside of St. Francis Prep. They want to have that energy level. And for Iona Prep, you see their keys. Limit the paint touches for St. Francis Prep. They want to dominate the backboard and execute their offense at a high level. So just about set for the start of this one. We'll take a look at the starters for both teams. And the starting lineups today are presented by Leeds Brown Law, dedicated to pursuing issues of wage and tip theft. There you see the starters for Iona Prep, Blaze New and Johnny Keenan, a great backcourt tandem. Keenan, just a sophomore. Another guy who has clearly taken a step up this year. Rodriguez, that all-league selection, we know what we can get from him. And Bengali Bariti and Alex Bryant round out the starting 5 for Iona Prep's head coach Steve Alvarado. In his 6th season at a Bronx High School of Science, a 1987 graduate, he is in his 10th overall season at Iona. Previously, the JV head coach who led the Gales to 2 Archdiocesan championships and back-to-back city title appearances in 2015 and 2016. Let's take a look at the starters for St. Francis Prep. The same starters as we've seen the last few games. That means Veer Anthony, Nigel Moore, Josh Pasquarelli, Tyler Michelle, and Big O, Ousmane Sako. And what a story he has been down the stretch of this season. Sako, just a freshman, he is close to averaging a double-double. For St. Francis Prep head coach Jimmy Lynch, in his 6th season, a 1999 graduate of St. Francis Prep. We'll take a quick break. We'll have the opening tip when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
And welcome back to Rose Hill Gymnasium here on the campus of Fordham University. The third of 4 quarterfinals just about set to begin. You see both teams there after the reading of the code of conduct. Shake hands, pound fists, and the starting lineups will be introduced to this crowd. Starting with Iona Prep. A short trip from New Rochelle for these Gales. There is Johnny Keenan, the first starter being introduced. Steve Alvarado said of his team they were pleased with the start that they had. A lot of good moments to showcase what the best of us could be, and also what maybe the not would be the best of that team as well. And ups and downs in a season, but Iona caught fire a little bit late in the year. And listen, you always want to play your best basketball at the end of the season, and I think you could argue that that is the case for Iona Prep here. Again, they do have a playoff win under their belts, defeating Holy Cross. St. Francis Prep, they're coming off that defeat we mentioned before, so how do they respond to adversity? That's been the question kind of all year long as well whenever they do lose, but there's generally been a very good response for the Terriers. They, as we said earlier, 18-8 on the season. 3 of those 8 losses to Christ the King. So they're a little bit tired, but it's funny, each and every time they played the Royals, they got even closer to winning. You know, will they meet a 4th time? If they do, it would be at St. John's for the championship. But a lot has to happen right for both of those squads to get to that point. So we're just about set now for the opening tip already, as John Perez detailed for you so eloquently. Christ the King and Archbishop Stepanak are already in the Final 4. Those games are Wednesday, also on the Varsity Media Sports Network, as we go from the Bronx to Queens to the corner of Union Turnpike and Utopia Parkway. If you want to enjoy that game, those games, and more, you got to hit that subscribe button and also follow us on our social media handles as well. So here we go, Gales and Terriers. this quarterfinal underway. Veer Anthony off the opening tip, wins it, and hands off to Moore. And there is Anthony. You love a lot of those individual matchups. You wonder who guards who. Some gritty guards, man. Pasquarelli, the triple to start things off as St. Francis Prep takes the early 3-0 lead. Keenan. Guarded tightly by Michelle. Looks to drive. Kicks it in the corner. Tough jumper there by Bryant. A deep 2 for Alex Bryant. He has emerged as a starter as this season went on. Big O, we know he can step out. This one, though, off the backboard, which allows Iona Prep an opportunity to get out in transition. Osmana Sacco affected the shot, but Bryant got the putback. 2 quickies for Alex Bryant gives Iona Prep the early 4-3 lead. Veer Anthony to Nigel Moore. Sacco up top. Sacco, after Bryant went down, goes in and gets the bucket inside the paint. There's Blaze New. His competitive lacrosse days, messed that one up. His competitive basketball days limited as Bryant steps out. Front rim on that one, no good. Veer Anthony looks to go the other way. Great pass in transition. The finish, a beauty by Pasquarelli. But to Blaze New, he'll go on and play lacrosse at UMass. So those days, those competitive basketball days, they could be counted on one hand right now. This could be his final one. And Blaze New wants to make sure that he leaves it all on the court. Missed that shot. Rebound by Rodriguez. He can't get the putback inside. And we go the other way with Veer Anthony. Anthony drives, stops, steps back out for Moore, and he'll knock down the short jumper. When St. Francis Prep is at its best, there's a lot of guys scoring the basketball. Driving into the paint was Johnny Keenan, and he was fouled on his way there. Foul by Moore. His first and the team's first, which will send Keenan to the line to shoot 2. Keenan this year has become a better defender. He understands where and when those scoring opportunities will emerge. A better distributor of the ball as well, a little bit more vocal as a sophomore. He's been indispensable for the Gales on the floor, an important part of what they are doing now and what they hope to do in the future. Keenan knocks down both. (9-6) the lead for St. Francis Prep early on here in the CHAA AA quarterfinals. So glad you're able to join us here in the Varsity Media Sports Network. Veer Anthony blocking foul called. It was called on Rodriguez. So his first and the team's first. Veer Anthony to inbound underneath. Finds Pasquarelli, the 3 in front of the Iona bench. No good. Sacco looking for the rebounds. He gets tied up with Bryant, and the possession will go to Iona Prep. Troy Faison checks in the game for St. Francis Prep. He replaces Nigel Moore. As Blaze New makes his way across midcourt. It's funny, when we spoke with Steve Alvarado earlier, great touch pass, and Rodriguez finishes inside. His first bucket of the game. When we spoke with Alvarado earlier in the year about New and his toughness, I said, oh, that must be lacrosse toughness. He said, I don't know. Maybe he's tough on the lacrosse field because he's so tough on the basketball court. And here he is stepping out. Side rim that shot. Tracking down the rebound nice was Lucas Murillo. Goes inside. Blocked by Faison. And now the Terriers will look to run. Look out. And a traveling violation came first. Michel saw Rodriguez and his 6'5" frame, and it resulted in him taking a few steps. Had to think about that before the collision. Hao Chen into the game for St. Francis Prep, replacing Sacco. The Terriers in this matchup, certainly the deeper of the two teams. Jimmy Lynch goes to his bench a little bit more than Alvarado does. Up top, this is a deep, it's a 3 by New. That's my bad, by the way. I saw him step inside the line, but it was the college line. That white line you see there is the high school line, so clearly behind the arc on that triple. Tough defense by Iona, and it results in a traveling violation and a turnover as Faison took a couple steps. 11-9 the lead for Iona Prep early on. 3:32 left in this first quarter. And there is New. Iona ideally would like to slow things down, get what they want out of their sets. A nice looking jumper by Alex Bryant. He's got 6 in this quarter, and he extends the Gales' lead to 13-9. Pasquarelli off the cut, stops. Rodriguez all over him. Solid defense by Rodriguez. As here is New. This is the matchup I like to see. New and Veer Anthony. Rodriguez steps out with Pasquarelli in his grill. So both scorers who are close to 20 games a clip stop each other there on each possession. So 2:46 left in the first. A full timeout by St. Francis Prep, and we'll take it with them. The Gales lead 13-9 in this CHSAA AA quarterfinal showdown presented by Maspeth Federal Savings.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Rose Hill Gymnasium on the campus of Fordham University. Dylan Butler with you here in the Varsity Media Sports Network. If you're not paid weekly by your employer, you may be able to sue. Contact Leeds Brown Law today. See the contact information there on the bottom of your screen. Off the timeout, Pasquarelli on ball, this time hands off to Anthony. A lot of screens, this mostly to try to open things up for Pasquarelli. Good switching defensively for Iona. That an air ball by Chen. Good save by Michel on the baseline to ensure the ball stays with St. Francis Prep. There's Chen off the inbound. Gets it to Anthony. He'll step out for the triple. No good. Good box out by New to get the rebounds. New hands off to Murillo, the 6'4" sophomore inside. Rodriguez guarded by Pasquarelli. Bounce pass outside. Stripped. Veer Anthony the steal. Anthony looks to push. Blaze New jumps into his path, and the foul will be called on New. Not the worst foul, clearly, because you stop Veer Anthony on a opportunity in transition as Sacco checks back in for St. Francis Prep, replacing Chen. Every point at this point of the season is extremely valuable. inside. That pass a little bit too high for Sacco, and the ball intercepted. Here is Keenan going the other way. Keenan, end to end. Keenan high off the glass and in. Johnny Keenan with 4. He averages 11 per game. A great start for the Gales. 15-9 is their lead. Here comes Anthony driving. The scoop layup is good. Anthony's first basket of this game. Blaze New. Hands off. There's Bryant. He's found an open shot throughout. To this point, a rare miss, but because Murillo challenged that ball down low, it ends up staying with Iona. So New goes to the bench. And checking in is Kylon Brown. There he is, the junior, and he's immediately fouled by Pasquarelli. Excuse me, by Veer Anthony. His first and the team's second. Keenan to Brown. The junior to Murillo. Inside the final minute of this first quarter. Keenan, Sacco out on him. Look at his double by the Terriers, but a terrific pass down low, and Pasquarelli's got to foul Bryant to avoid the flush. It appeared the Terriers did their job defensively. They forced nearly forcing a turnover out at midcourt, but a terrific look inside to Bryant. And Bryant knocks down the first free throw. Good looking junior, really active. He's explosive athletically. He finishes at the rim. You see him also being able to step out. He's got some range on his jumpers. And he knocks down both of those free throws. 8 points in this first quarter already for Mr. Bryant. And he'll get the accolades from his teammates as he goes to the bench. 17-11 the lead for Iona Prep. Veer Anthony finds a lane, pulls up, that off the side of the backboard. And with very little difference between shot and game clock, Blaze New acting as an assistant coach. He's saying, slow it up. Let's hold for the last. Steve Alvarado shares that same message. So Iona will slow things up. Here's a drive. Losing it, though, out of bounds was Brown. So now St. Francis Prep a chance here. 4-3. Veer Anthony pulls up. Top of the key. 3. Good! Buzzer beater for Veer Anthony. So strong end for the Terriers, but it's Iona as Anthony right over Rodriguez beats the buzzer, but the Terriers trail by 3 at the end of 1. You're watching the CHSAA AA quarterfinal showdown presented by Maspeth Federal Savings on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Welcome back to Fordham University. See some of the banners here at Rose Hill Gymnasium. The Rams hoping maybe to add another one, maybe an A-10 to go along, and maybe another NCAA bid. A terrific year for the Rams this year. And it is great to see The CHSAA playoffs back here at Rose Hill Gymnasium. There's been so many incredible games throughout the years. Championship games, buzzer beaters, upsets. As Sacco switches hands, lefty layup. That's really good looking stuff from the freshman. He's got 4, 6'7" freshman out of Far Rock, Osmana Sacco. It's a 1-point game. Murillo steps inside. Jumper, front rim no good. Sacco the rebound. Will go the other way. Anthony. If there was an extra pass, I think Pasquarelli was open. This is a deep 2 by Michelle off the mark. And there's Brown. Brown guarded by Michelle. The Terriers, they will play you man, largely. Inside, look at Sacco jumping the route, stealing the ball. In transition, Murillo looks to do the same, and then he gets called for the foul. That's a terrific call on the foul because Murillo got a piece there of Pasquarelli. It's his first and the team's third. Some substitutions here. Faison comes it back in for Nigel. There you see the foul. Here's Michelle to Pasquarelli, guarded by New. Anthony, similar hairstyle. That side show Bob look almost with he and Rodriguez. Sacco steps out. That bounces off the rim and over the backboard. So Iona prep ball. Nate Schillingford, the 6'2" sophomore, also plays football. He's in the game now for the Gales for the first time. And you know what? I think Pasquarelli also maybe goes to the same barber as Anthony and A.J. Rodriguez. Maybe it's the look these days these kids have. Extra pass. New steps out. 3 is good. Blaze New's second triple. He extends Iona's lead to 4, 20-16. Michelle, open, top of the key, off the mark. Anthony tracks it down, bounce pass inside. Pasquarelli can't get the bunny, rebound. Back out to Anthony for 3, off the rim, no good. Sacco the rebound, Sacco the putback. Big O's got 6. What a future he is going to have. 6 points, 2 rebounds right now for Sacco. Keenan thought about it. Michelle's on him, works off the screen. Little pick and pop. Here comes A.J. Rodriguez. That 3 off the mark. Ooh, another terrific foul. A push underneath. So off the foul, Terriers have the ball with a chance to tie here. Gales winning the regular season matchup. Only one game when you go from one diocesan to the archdiocesan, and Sacco showing some range. 8 for Sacco. We are tied at 20. New works off the Rodriguez screen. Anthony still picks him up. Flashing to the foul line inside, and New got Faison all caught up. So Faison called for the foul. It'll be his first and the team's 4th. Here you see it. See the help. Faison was the help, but a little bit late on the help. So Rodriguez will go to the line. First is no good. Rodriguez second, also no good. So now St. Francis Prep can take the lead on this possession. Michelle to Veer Anthony. Anthony surveys the situation, looks for options. Goes to Michelle, out to Big O. We know we can knock it down from there. And Osmana Sacco is feeling it right now. 11 for the freshman. And St. Francis Prep has a 3-point lead. Keenan looks to drive. Taking away the baseline, though, was Michelle. Blaze New from well beyond the arc. No good. Michelle looks to push. Pasquarelli wanted it underneath. And a kick ball will be called against New. So St. Francis Prep will maintain possession. Sacco. Hands off. Pasquarelli open. 3 is good. Pasquarelli buries the triple. And St. Francis Prep has a 26-20 lead. That's how you do it for the Marist-bound senior, the MVP of this league. Full timeout is called. We'll take it with Iona. 26-20 your score. St. Francis Prep has a lead. You're watching the CHSAA AA Quarterfinals presented by Maspeth Federal Savings and the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton!
We welcome you back to Rose Hill Gymnasium. Rodriguez, nice step into the lane. And a foul, a blocking foul was called on Faison. His second and the team's fifth, so after 2 missed free throws, Rodriguez will attempt 2 more. Rodriguez has that full arsenal. A guy who can put it on the floor, he can attack the rim, he can post up, he can shoot from beyond the arc, although he's struggling right now from the foul line. He's the best scorer, but he still has an upside. Only 17 years old, a young senior is Rodriguez. And he makes his first free throw after 3 previous misses. 26-21 the lead for St. Francis Prep. This is the third of 4 quarterfinals here this afternoon on the Varsity Media, or afternoon into evening, as Michelle gets to the basket for his first bucket of the game. We started things out back at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when Christ the King beat Bishop Laughlin. The action continued as Keenan couldn't handle that pass from New, where Archbishop Stepanak had all they could handle in a win over Archbishop Malloy. And this is the third matchup. Our fourth and final one, the nightcap, comes at 7 o'clock tonight, where Cardinal Hayes will take on St. Peter's. There's a lot of Staten Island magic here on Friday night. Moore Catholic and Monsignor Farrell won the B and the A championships, respectively. Sacco, his second consecutive triple. 14 first-half points for Osmana Sacco. And it's a 10-point lead for St. Francis Prep. So after a magical Friday night, can St. Peter's continue that magic in Rose Hill? Nice extra pass, open 3 in the corner, is buried by Murillo. A needed response, but now the Gales need to stop. Veer Anthony high off glass. Murillo will do that as well. Ooh, they call a jump ball. I thought Murillo had more of that ball. Now they will win the jump anyway because it's it'll go to Iona Prep, but I thought that Murillo actually had possession before being grabbed. Thought that could have been a foul. Regardless, Iona ball as we approach the 2-minute mark of this first half. There's been ebbs and flows as we expect in any playoff game. Keenan guarded closely by Michelle. Inside, Rodriguez. No good. Sacco, the rebounds. Oh, and Big O will be called for a traveling violation. I like what St. Francis Prep is doing defensively inside. It's Pasquarelli man up on Rodriguez, but Sacco kind of there as well to help out. And there was in good position to get the rebound, although he did take steps afterwards. Long triple, no good. Another rebound for Sacco. And here comes St. Francis Prep. And look at Sacco running the floor. The big fella, Sacco, the lefty layup. Oh, that was pretty. I mean, just watching him run the court and hustling down, he gets what he deserves on the offensive end. 16 points for Sacco. It's a 9-point lead for St. Francis Prep. Keenan to New. New wants the screen, gets it. Murillo, another triple, no good. Rebound to Shillingford, off the glass and in for the putback. His first basket of the game inside the final minute now of the first half. St. Francis Prep a 33-26 lead. They trailed 17-14. Sacco feeling it. This triple, though, off the mark. And this allows New to go the other way. New! No good. Stepping out. Keenan says yes. And now St. Francis will hold as Jimmy Lynch puts the hand up. Now both hands up. That really means to stop and slow down. And Vera Anthony will oblige. 5 seconds. Anthony. Michelle. Inside. Can you get it off? No good. No good on that one. So the first half in the books. And it's been the Osmana Sacco show. The lefty layup, the triple, the working down the lane. Sacco has been a man. 16 points for Big O, and St. Francis Prep has a 33-29 lead here at the break. You're watching the CHSAA AA quarterfinals, presented by Maspeth Federal Savings on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
One of the most common injuries seen in lacrosse players is an anterior cruciate ligament tear. The ACL is one of the primary stabilizing ligaments of the knee and unfortunately is quite commonly injured. When the ACL tears, most of the time it requires surgery to return back to play. The surgical options are varied and should be discussed with a physician prior to deciding when and if to return to sports. In our office, we'll evaluate your knee, check your range of motion, check for any deficiencies. We'll image your knee with radiographs and potentially an MRI to evaluate for bigger injuries like an ACL tear. If you have an ACL tear, We would then discuss what your options are surgically and non-surgically, what the best graft type would be for you, and what your post-operative expected course would be. All of these patients require physical therapy prior to return to sport, and return to sport times can vary depending on the level of injury. If an ACL reconstruction is warranted, the return to sport time can be as long as 6 to 9 months and sometimes longer, depending on if there are associated injuries. Our goal with all of our athletes is to get you back to play safely and as quickly as possible, to be successful, to be healthy, and to be active. If you unfortunately find yourself in the situation where you've torn your ACL, it is not the end of your career. We can help you get back to be successful playing sports, including lacrosse.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
One of the most common injuries seen in lacrosse players is an anterior cruciate ligament tear. The ACL is one of the primary stabilizing ligaments of the knee and unfortunately is quite commonly injured. When the ACL tears, most of the time it requires surgery to return back to play. The surgical options are varied and should be discussed with a physician prior to deciding when and if to return to sports. In our office, we'll evaluate your knee, check your range of motion, check for any deficiencies. We'll image your knee with radiographs and potentially an MRI to evaluate for bigger injuries like an ACL tear. If you have an ACL tear, We would then discuss what your options are surgically and non-surgically, what the best graft type would be for you, and what your post-operative expected course would be. All of these patients require physical therapy prior to return to sport, and return to sport times can vary depending on the level of injury. If an ACL reconstruction is warranted, the return to sport time can be as long as 6 to 9 months and sometimes longer, depending on if there are associated injuries. Our goal with all of our athletes is to get you back to play safely and as quickly as possible, to be successful, to be healthy, and to be active. If you unfortunately find yourself in the situation where you've torn your ACL, it is not the end of your career. We can help you get back to be successful playing sports, including lacrosse.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Rose Hill Gymnasium on the campus of Fordham University. It's halftime in the CHSAA AA quarterfinal showdown, and it is St. Francis Prep with a 33-29 lead. We want to thank our sponsors for today's game, of course, Maspeth Federal Savings, as well as Leeds Brown Law, defending you against workplace discrimination, harassment, and wrongful termination, as well as Orland and Cohen Orthopedic Group, an affiliate of Northwell Health. Some first half stats for you, some leading scorers, and if you were even only halfway paying attention to the first half, you know that Big O had himself a ball game. Those are final game numbers generally, right? Like, that's a good game. But instead, it was a great first half for Osmana Sacco, 16 points. He scored 14 of his team's 19 points in the second quarter. Josh Pasquarelli chipped in with 8, and Alex Bryant had himself a really good game to lead the Gales. And there you see an up and under move by Big O, the freshman, getting work done. 16 points, 4 rebounds, and also not one of the leading scorers, but how about the stat line for Veer Anthony of St. Francis Prep? 5 points, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds. That is a stat sheet stuffer for the freshman, Veer Anthony. This, again, the third of 4 quarterfinal games. We've got one more for you coming up. That'll be Cardinal Hayes and St. Peter's. You don't want to miss that one. There you see it, the NY5 against the NY1. 7 o'clock start here at Rose Hill Gymnasium. The scene will shift to St. John's University for the semifinals and finals. You want to hit that subscribe button. You can get out of your full screen right now and hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss any of the action. Of course, you could also follow us on all of our social media handles as well. So here we go, third quarter about to begin. And it will be St. Francis Prep ball coming out. Gales got off to a great start. They led 17-14, but a big second quarter led by Sacco. who flashes out the foul line, hands off there, gave the Terriers this lead of 4 going into the break. Pasquarelli, count it! I didn't think there was a continuation there, and there's a little bit of a hesitation on the call as well. Let's see it again. Pasquarelli, and you see New? He just kind of grabbed around the shoulder trying to keep up with Pasquarelli. So it was indeed a foul on Blaze New. Although now they're saying it wasn't. You don't count the basket, so no points on the scoreboard. So it'll just be an inbound underneath, although now the officials will again converse and speak about what did just occur. As we showed you, you could see the foul did happen before the shooting motion. And now all parties are in agreement. Here is one more look from the baseline. Off the handoff, there's the foul, and certainly way before the shot. So good job by the officials getting it right. Sacco triple teamed, looks out of it. Severe Anthony drives, pops. Oh, terrific look to Michelle, and he will bury the triple. 5 for Tyler Michelle. And the lead back out to 8. We had 4 lead changes in the first half. The largest lead for St. Francis Prep was 10. It was 6 for Iona, and now Michelle getting his hands in the passing lane. Out to Pasquarelli. They've got numbers, and a kick ball called against Murillo, which stops this forward progress. Sacco up top. Hands off to Anthony. Veer Anthony drives, kicks. Another open 3. Michelle says, why not? Michelle, back-to-back triples. And Iona Prep calls a timeout. We'll take it with the Gales as well. 41-29 the lead for St. Francis Prep. 6:50 left, third quarter. You're watching the CHSAA AA quarterfinals presented by Maspeth Federal right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Welcome back to Rose Hill Gymnasium on the campus of Fordham University. Back-to-back threes by Tyler Michelle has given St. Francis Prep their largest lead of this game, 41-29. And it also resulted in Steve Alvarado calling a timeout to talk things over. There is a good look from our baseline camera at the players, but also this fantastic gymnasium at Rose Hill Gym. Always love coming back here. It has that big game feel to it. Rodriguez's 3 off the mark. The rebound will go out of bounds, and it'll be St. Francis Prep basketball. In years past, this would also be the site of the championship game. Usually, in years past, as Veer Anthony goes to the lane and he's fouled by Murillo. It'll be Murillo's second. You'd have the quarterfinals here, and then you'd go semifinal St. John's back here for the finals. But a little bit different this year. This is the final, or these are the final games at Fordham University, and then you'll go to St. John's for the next 2. Veer Anthony, you see the offers. Robert Morris and Manhattan College. knocks down the second. (42-29) the lead for St. Francis Prep. Kickball called against Saco. The Terriers trying to make the semifinals for a second consecutive year. Last year, knocked out by Cardinal Hayes. We'll reset the shot clock to 24. There you see it on the bottom right of your screen. Rodriguez, double teams. Forced one there. Murillo checks down the rebound, and he is fouled on his way up. Foul called on Saco, which will send Murillo to the line. First free throw is good. Really, Murillo bringing valuable minutes off the bench. Second free throw, no good. But you can see the potential in Murillo. Again, just a sophomore. He's a settled presence, really calm as well, even on the biggest of stages. Moore rejected. Murillo, they look to push. Rodriguez, great catch. Oh, it doesn't get the and one, but he gets fouled, and he'll go to the foul line as Pasquarelli picks up his second foul. Look at that catch. Terrific dribble, and then just unable to get the basket as he is fouled. So Rodriguez to the line. It's been a bit of a struggle here for him this afternoon, mostly because it's been a struggle from the foul line. But knocks down his first here of two, and he's now got 4 points. A guy who, again, averages just under 19 a game. Both free throws good. It's a 10-point ball game. Veer Anthony. To Faison. Nice flash by Saco, and look at that. When it's going well, it is going well. I don't even know what you would call that. A leaner, I guess. It wasn't a jump shot. It wasn't a layup. It was kind of a tweener there for Saco. He just willed that ball into the basket. 18 points on the day for the freshman. Baseline underneath, Murillo. Dribble penetration, switches hands, and a foul was called on Saco. It's only his second. Jimmy Lynch turns to his bench, but not making a move. Again, only 2 fouls on Saco, and this will send Murillo back to the line. Knocks down the first. And the second as well. Murillo's made his free throws. He's 3 of 4 from the line. 44-34 the lead for St. Francis Prep. Saco flashes, guarded by Bryant, forced it inside. Nice turn inside. Despite the double, Pasquarelli the finish inside. He's now in double-digit scoring. And it's a 12-point lead for the Terriers. Keenan tries to play a high-low game. Bryant's calling for the ball. Saco, his hands on it, saves it, but saves it inside. Spinning, turning, Rodriguez, no good. Michelle gets the rebound, and the Terriers look to push. Pasquarelli can't finish. Saco there inside. $20 big boy points for Osmana Saco. It's a 14-point lead for St. Francis Prep. He has 6 rebounds to go along with that, too. Rodriguez fouled by Pasquarelli, and they're saying he was on his way up, so he'll go back to the foul line. Pasquarelli picks up his 3rd. It's the team's 4th. So Rodriguez will shoot 2. First is good. Hao Chen back in the game for Osmana Sacco. It was Chen earlier in the year who was the starter in that position. You remember a year ago as the second free throw rims out, it was Chen waiting in the wings, kind of the apprentice to Jaden Daughtry, who was a first-team All-League player. Earned the starting spot, does a lot of the little things for you, but Sacco has just grown by leaps and bounds. Count it for Michelle, and the foul. And as such, it's here you see the replay. Foul was called, but I don't think it was on Bryant. Oh, they're taking the basket off. So the foul will be called. Here you see it again. Chen drives. Here's Michelle, blocked from behind by Murillo. So they were calling the blocking foul on Bryant, and that was before the handoff. 48-35, the lead for St. Francis Prep. Where to go? Where to go? Nowhere. It's a turnover. 5-second violation. Iona would love a late third quarter run to get themselves, they're in it, but to make this deficit a little bit more manageable. Here's Blaze New. He figures they'll dial it up from 3. Off the rim, no good. Same team, Chen and Faison for the rebound. And here comes Pasquarelli. Pasquarelli drives, kicks, and a charge was called on Pasquarelli. That is his 4th. So the MVP of the AA will sit, and he'll sit there for a while with his 4th foul. So 3:05 left. St. Francis Prep's best player is on the bench. And you would argue that Sacco, if not the second, the 3rd best player is there with him as well. Here's Keenan, drives, tucks it under, scoop layup, no good. Nigel Moore comes away with the rebound. There's numbers, Moore, nice step. Oh, what a pass. Faison the finish. But that all came from Nigel Moore's creativity on the pass. New, down low, Vier Anthony. He is so good at that, taking away the ball underneath. Michelle looks to drive, and a blocking foul was called on Keenan. Kyle Brown will come in. It'll be a full timeout, though, for Iona Prep. 15-point lead for the Terriers. The CHSAA basketball playoffs are sponsored by Leeds Brown Law, defending you against workplace discrimination, harassment, and wrongful termination. You can contact them. You see it there on the bottom of your screen, leedsbrownlaw.com/contact us. If you enjoy this game and want to find out when our next Sportscast will be, well, you can hit that subscribe button here on our YouTube channel, but you also follow us on our social media handles at Varsity Media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Dylan Butler here with you, the entire Varsity Media crew at Fordham's Rose Hill Gymnasium. What a great look that is here at one of the oldest, greatest facilities. You know, John Perez and I were on the call on Friday night. We were talking about this as a facility, a must-visit facility, whether it's high school or college basketball. Didn't get a chance to make this point the other night, but like the Palestra, everyone talks about the Palestra in Philly. I've been there as well. A great historic venue. Rose Hill Gym right there with it as well. Michelle's first free throw, no good. An added bonus, you got Arthur Avenue. A short, a Josh Pasquarelli jump shot away. Of course, you got your cheesesteaks in Philly, so whatever your pleasure is, I suppose. Michelle goes 1 of 2. St. Francis Prep has wrestled control away from Iona. The Gales had it early. St. Francis Prep took it back with a 19-12 second quarter, an even better third quarter right now. Rodriguez off of the miss by Brown. Going the other way. Brown with the rejection, though, on Moore. Now the Gales look to run. New, the runner. Front rim, no good. Sacco is back in the game. And Big O running as a point forward. Fouled by Brown. It's funny, we've done so many St. Francis Prep broadcasts this year, and we've not interviewed Osmana Sacco. It's usually been a Josh Pasquarelli or Veer Anthony. Big O might get his Varsity Media post-game debut here today for this performance. 20-7 for the freshman out of Far Rockaway, Veer Anthony. Tucks it and then loses it. So turnover, and Iona Prep ball. Blaze New back in for Kylon Brown. Here comes Keenan across midcourt. Keenan drives at Osmana Sacco, and he gets the lefty layup. 6 for Keenan. Michelle. Veer Anthony. Faison, another freshman. Michelle steps back out, buries another triple. Tyler Michelle is having himself a third quarter. 12 of his 14 in this third quarter, and that his third triple of this third quarter. Terrific stuff from Tyler Michelle. The challenge was made earlier in the season by Jimmy Lynch to have Michelle be a little bit more unselfish. Well, he's answered that bell in a big way, averaging 10 points a game, and has become that really valuable third scorer, right? Like, you know you're getting your 19 points from Pasquarelli, and you know Veer Anthony is going to bring you just a little bit below 10. But when you get Michelle giving you 10, and then you can add in Osmana Sacco giving you 10, that's 4 players in double figures, and that makes you a very difficult team to beat. 54-37 the lead for St. Francis Prep inside the final minute of this third quarter. The Terriers looking to join Archbishop Stepanak and Christ the King, who have already booked their spots for St. John's University in the semifinals on Wednesday. A.J. Rodriguez can't get that to fall. The shot's just not falling for Iona, especially in this third quarter. Veer Anthony, the scoop layup. That's short. Henry, the rebounds. Up and down we go. Rodriguez. Murillo. Back out to Keenan. And Keenan, a hand check will be called against Michelle. It's his first and the team's sixth. Confirming, yes, 6 fouls. We are at 6. And the inbound will be outside. And Blaze New will do so. Shot clock is off. It's 25.8 seconds left in his third quarter. Keenan dribbles, kind of between moves, missed a jumper. And I suspect Jimmy Lynch will put hands up. He does. He wants to open up the court and hold for the last. So Veer Anthony will have options. He'll take it himself, splits defenders to the hole, no good. Rebound off the mark as well. Marcel Henry the rebound. Murillo's shot to beat the buzzer, well short of the mark. 54-37 the lead for St. Francis Prep. Tyler Michelle's owned this third quarter. Another triple for Michelle. He's got 12, and his Terriers have a lead going into the fourth quarter. You're watching the CHSAA AA quarterfinal showdown presented by Maspeth Federal Savings and the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
Welcome back to Rose Hill Gymnasium on the campus of Fordham University. Fourth quarter about to begin here in this CHSAA AA quarterfinal showdown presented by Maspeth Federal right here in the Varsity Media Sports Network, and it is St. Francis Prep with a 54-37 lead. A 21-8 third quarter has allowed these Terriers to open up this sizable lead. And as good a second quarter as Saco had with 14, Michelle almost went the same in the third quarter. Charge was called. He had 10 points. Excuse me, he had 12 in that. He had 12 in that quarter of his 14. He'll clean up a wet spot. As Brown will check back in for Keenan. Bariti as well in for Murillo. Winner of this game takes on the winner of our next game, featuring St. Peter's and Cardinal Hayes. Hayes won the only regular season meeting. Up and under, Saco, count it! One thing I love about Saco, as Rodriguez picks up the foul, there you see it, is he's not a one-trick pony. Misses the free throw. Saco steps out. He'll knock down the triple. He'll run the court. He'll score inside with both hands. A really good, diverse skill set for the freshman. Michelle hands off. More. The extra pass. Saco. I really thought that was going in. Underneath. A wide open bucket there for Moore. Moore has 4. And this game has gotten away from Iona. Saco wins it off the backboard. He's got 22 and 7. Does Omana Saco. Veer Anthony off the side of the backboard. This is the way the game is going for St. Francis as Faison got the rebound, and he was fouled. Fouled by Brown. That's the 8th team foul as well. Faison knocks down the first. Faison, a varsity football player and varsity basketball player, just a freshman here, goes 1 of 2 from the foul line. 21-point lead for St. Francis Prep. Michelle called for the foul. His second, the team's 7th. So it'll be 1-1 for A.J. Rodriguez. And we said to you before, Rodriguez was a player to watch. He averaged 18.7 points per game. But if you look as he knocks down the first, that was his 7th point of the game, so well below his season average. And when you get to this stage of the playoffs, you need, it's cliche to say it, right? But you need your best players to be at their best. And Rodriguez certainly drawing the attention and the game plan of St. Francis Prep defensively. They've made it hard on him. They now double Veer Anthony out at midcourt, hands off. Oh, what a pass. Nigel Moore to Tyler Michelle. That a thing of beauty. And a foul called on Moore, his second. This will mean more free throws for Iona. Murillo will do so. And the first is good. Even if Iona's season ends here, it has been an improvement from last year when they went 8-17. As 1 of 2 there for Murillo. They lost to Malloy by 10 in the opening round of the intersectional playoffs a year ago. RJ Green, who was a first-team All-CHSAA player, he's now at LIU. He was NEC Rookie of the Week back in December, 21 points and 10 rebounds. Attacking the basket. That was over the back, and it was on Murillo. So Iona went from 8 wins a year ago to more than doubling that this year with 17. As Moore will shoot the 1-1. First is good. Keenan back in the game for Brown. You can see behind the basket a pretty cool setup they have here at Fordham where you can go and get some concessions and still get a pretty good vantage point. There's no seats in that baseline look, so you can get yourself a hot dog or a pretzel, whatever it may be, and still watch the game. You don't have to miss the action. Foul was called against Caden Noonan. Nice up and under move. As we've got a 30-second timeout. We mentioned the all-league selections. It was not tricky to pick Josh Pasquarelli as your player of the year. He was absolutely the best senior this year, going to play next year for John Dunn. Your coach of the year was Joe Arbitello. Here's your first team All-League. Ian Jackson, Boogie Flan, Nazir Muhammad, Brandon Stores. There's A.J. Rodriguez and Elijah Moore as well. 2 Hazemen on that list. Your second team, Kadir Martin. We'll see him in our next game. Vanterpool, Sanders, James, Williams, and Ty Turnage. A lot of young guys there on that team as well. And there is a look at your third team, Blaze New, making that team for Iona Prep. First free throw is good. 23-point lead for St. Francis Prep. Again, they trailed early by as many as 6. It was 3 at the end of the first quarter. Sacco goes to the bench. He's got 22 and 9. Tough jumper by Keenan, forced it. And Steve Alvarado put his arms out, said, what are we doing? We got to run our offense. Always coaching these guys. There's a good look at Steve Alvarado in his 6th season out of Bronx High School of Science. Murillo, the putback. Out of necessity, Iona picks up full court. Faison takes that ball, finds a cutting Moore. We've had a lot of Terriers scoring the ball and a lot of assisted baskets as well. By my count, 6 different scorers today. And Pasquarelli will look to check back in at the next opportunity. Scoop layup by Keenan. Iona's had scoring from 5 different players, but no one's putting up numbers like Sacco has tonight, or Michelle for that matter. First look at number 2 for St. Francis Prep, Nolan Raymond. Michelle. Jimmy Lynch wants Faison to maybe use a little bit of the shot clock. Nearly lost the dribble. Murillo's in his grill. He's got to get rid of it. Alvarado wanted the 5-second violation. Regardless, it's a turnover. Keenan, nice step and the basket. Keenan in double figures with 13 for Iona. Nolan Raymond is in the scorebook for St. Francis Prep. Blaze New. He's got 8. As we mentioned, he'll go to UMass and play lacrosse. So basketball not in Blaze New's future as Keenan is called for the foul. So likely Blaze New 3 minutes and 23 seconds away from the end of his competitive basketball career. And it has been a very good one as well. Numbers they just put up on the scoreboard, outstanding for Veer Anthony. 6 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists. And Anthony knocks down the first. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. I don't know how Veer Anthony, as he goes 1 of 2, was not on one of those 3 all-league teams. Rodriguez tries to force himself to the basket, lost it. Nice scoop layup by Brown, getting to the hole for his first points of the quarter. I think an argument could also be made for Brandon Gardner. The folks at CK will certainly do that. Full timeout here with 3:03 left. We'll take it with the Terriers as well. St. Francis Prep, a few minutes away from making the semifinals as well. You're watching the CHSAA AA quarterfinals presented by Maspeth Federal right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back. We are welcome back as well here at Fordham University. Final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. St. Francis Prep a comfortable 19-point lead over Iona Prep, the third of 4 quarterfinals. Christ the King and Archbishop Stepanak already making it to the semifinals. If St. Francis Prep does the same, then we're nearly at the point of seeing all 4 of the teams that we said would be the favorites to compete. Veer Anthony can add a steal to his stat line. The 3 favorites, or the 2 favorites already there. Sacco back in the game, misses the bunny inside. Blaze New makes the catch, but the foul first on Moore. I think I'll hit the reset button there. I didn't say it quite as eloquently as I would have liked. There were 4 teams to start the year that we believe would be favorites to win. Christ the King, Stepanak, St. Francis Prep, and Hayes, the defending champions, as New knocks down the first. And we expected those to be your final 4. Well, we're 2 minutes and 38 seconds away from the trifecta, with Cardinal Hayes the only team left to book their spot then. And what a Final 4 we would have if that would be the case. But a lot of basketball is left here today, or tonight I should say now, as Sacco underneath makes the catch, the lefty layup, 2 more for Big O. It's now 24 points and 9 rebounds for Sacco. The lead is 71-52. Kickball was called, so shot clock is good at 21 seconds. Oh, little miscommunication there on News inbounds as it's taken away by Veer Anthony. Pasquarelli, backdoor. Sacco, second chance. Sacco, no good. Put back by Moore. And although Sacco didn't get the points, he does get the rebound. So a double-double now for Sacco. 24 points and 10 rebounds. Nigel Moore to Pasquarelli. Hands it off to Veer Anthony. Michelle to Moore. So St. Francis Prep earns a little bit of revenge here from one of their defeats this year. They lost 72-64 up in New Rochelle. That back on February 7th. Michelle, Sacco says, I'll take it. And he adds on to his total, which is increased to 24 points, or 26 points and 10 rebounds. But a really impressive team performance. Blaze New gets the hug and the kiss in the cheek as New realizing now that he has played his final minutes for Iona, and the emotions are raw. Brown's shot stuck on the side. The Terriers will get the ball. And now St. Francis Prep will also empty the bench a little bit. Sacco goes off for the final time. 26 and 10 for Sacco, with, by the way, 3 assists as well. A terrific stat line as checking in for the Terriers, Zakai Simfukwe, the 6'3" senior out of Corona, as we're inside the final minute. But Vier Anthony, 7 points, 11 assists, 4 rebounds, a great day for him. Pasquarelli limited to 12, but he doesn't need to score in a day like this. And they'll just let the shot clock, classy move by the Terriers, wind out. So wholesale changes now for St. Francis Prep. We see Peter DeVries in the game. We see Jojo Puccio in the game. We see Jacob Wang in the game. And we see Caleb Phillips in the game. Final 22 seconds. We also see Caden Noonan in the game. He drives the basket for 2. The Terriers, though, don't even have to take a shot here. They've got a 75-54 lead, and that's going to be the way they win this one. A terrific performance by St. Francis Prep and the Terriers for a second consecutive year. They are in the CHSAA AA semifinals. Let's take a quick break, and we will have our player of the game when we return. You're watching the CHSAA AA quarterfinals presented by Maspeth Federal Savings right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Common injuries seen in lacrosse players is an anterior cruciate ligament tear. The ACL is one of the primary stabilizing ligaments of the knee and unfortunately is quite commonly injured. When the ACL tears, most of the time it requires surgery to return back to play. The surgical options are varied and should be discussed with a physician prior to deciding when and if to return to sports. In our office, we'll evaluate your knee, check your range of motion, check for any deficiencies. We'll image your knee with radiographs and potentially an MRI to evaluate for bigger injuries like an ACL tear. If you have an ACL tear, we would then discuss what your options are surgically and non-surgically, what the best graft type would be for you, and what your post-operative expected course would be. All of these patients require physical therapy prior to return to sport, and return to sport times can vary depending on the level of injury. If an ACL reconstruction is warranted, the return to sport time can be as long as 6 to 9 months and sometimes longer depending on if there are associated injuries. Our goal with all of our athletes is to get you back to play safely and as quickly as possible, to be successful, to be healthy, and to be active. If you unfortunately find yourself in the situation where you've torn your ACL, it is not the end of your career. We can help you get back to be successful playing sports, including lacrosse.
We welcome you back to Fordham University. St. Francis Prep 75-54 winners in the quarterfinals, and a big reason why is the man that they call a Big O, Osman Asako, joining us now in the post-game show. And Osman, I got to say, man, you have grown up before our eyes, man. You came in as a freshman early in the season just trying to get your rhythm, and what a performance today in the quarterfinals. 24 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists on the biggest stage. You came up huge. What did you think today of, one, the way that you played and also the way your teammates played as well?
Yeah, I think I played really great. I ran the floor hard, and yeah, we played together. Moved the ball well.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a team that is unselfish. You've got a lot of different guys on this team that can score the basketball. I think one of the more impressive things that you've shown, not only today, but really throughout your season, is this scoring arsenal, right? You can score with both hands inside. You've stepped out. You can knock down the three, the mid-range game. You run the floor. Some college coaches out here today, Big O. I mean, I'd imagine that you've impressed a few of them today.
Yeah, appreciate it, yeah.
All right, so what do you think here? It's the semifinal, second straight year now that the Terriers are there. You don't know your opponent yet. If it is Cardinal Hayes, well, what a tough overtime loss at their place. You got to feel pretty excited about having your team play at St. John's, right in St. Francis Prep's backyard in the semifinals.
Yeah, of course. We just got to play how we played this game, execute, move the ball, play together, run the floor, and I feel like we're going to be good.
All right, Big O, a big game for St. Francis Prep. We thank you for joining us, Osmana, and best of luck as well going forward.
Thank you.
So Osmana Sacco leading the way for the Terriers. as St. Francis Prep wins this one 75-54. St. Francis books their spot in the quarterfinals. There's one more team remaining in that spot of the quarterfinals. Will it be St. Peter's or will it be Cardinal Hayes? We'll find out when we return right here. But first, we want to thank our entire Varsity Media crew. Here for this game, our executive producer, I think he's having Nathan's right now, Ben Turchin. Our technical director, Chris Sweeney. On camera, Travis DeLuise and Ron Pierre. I'm Dylan Butler. Thanking you for joining us from Fordham's Rose Hill Gymnasium. And we look forward to seeing you for our 7 o'clock game right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.